במוצאי יום מנוחה המצא לי עמך רווחה שלח תשבי לנחה ונס יגוי לי הנחה יתה לך צורי כביתם מפוזרי יד גוי אכזרי אשר קרא לי שוחה מלא דם אשר שואל ראי טובך בבגאל בספר זורה נידחה ראי טובך Bezrat Hashem, the limud this week should be the refuat Moreinu v'Rabbeinu Harav Menachem Yoshua ben Leah Rezel v'achole Harav Sivan ben Sima v'achola Shlomit bat Chaya betoch kol shar Chole Yisrael. Parashat Beha'alotcha. There are many details and issues that come up in the parasha. I want to try, out of all the issues, to try and learn a little bit the meaning behind two psukim in the parasha. So in the middle of Parashat Beha'alotcha, Perek Yud Pasuk Lamed Hey, the psukim say, Vayihi bin soa ha'aron vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha v'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha uvenucho yomar shuva Adonai rivevot alfei Yisrael. These two psukim appear without too much explanation. Why are they really here? And what is the true meaning of these two psukim? And the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, Daf Kuf Tetvav Amud Bet, is challenged by this question, and says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanan, Vayehi bin Soa Ha'aron Vayomer Moshe, Parasha Zu Asalo HaKadosh Baruch Hu Simaniyot Milemala Umilemata Lomar She'ein Ze Mekoma. The first opinion says, why is there a nun, an upside down nun on the top and on the bottom, to say that the place of this parasha was supposed to be in Parashat Bamidbar when we spoke about the Aron. We know the Aron was in the middle, and we're speaking about the Aron that's Nosea. So really this parasha has these simaniyot to say really this parasha is in Bamidbar. The second opinion of the Gemara is very bothered by this answer. Rebbe Omer, Lo min Hashem hu zeh. How can you tell me that if it's really supposed to be with the Aron, put it with the Aron? And if it's not, then what is it doing here? So says Rebbe, Ela, mipnei shesefer chashuv hu bifnei atzmo. Rebbe says a tremendous answer. He says, why is there an upside down nun at the beginning and the end? To tell you that these two psukim are so important that it's a Sefer to itself. Now we take a step back and we kind of like put Rebbe in front of us and we say, Rebbe, you know, it's a very nice answer. It's interesting. Truthfully, Rebbe, makes no sense. I mean, if you look around the Torah, Sefer Bereshit, stories upon stories, personalities, families, leaders, that's a Sefer. Sefer Shmot, Galut, Geulah, redemption, building the Mishkan, that's a compiled Sefer. But for Rebbe to come and say 2 psukim are an entire Sefer, you take a step back and you say, Rebbe, maybe we don't understand these psukim. Because if you're willing to say that maybe 19 or 20 words in the Torah could become an entire Sefer, then there has to be something miraculous about these 2 psukim. So Rebbe's challenging us and say, let's read the psukim again. And when we read the psukim again, we see that there are 3 different characters in the psukim. First, Vayihi bin Soa ha'aron. The Aron meaning the Torah. So that's one character. Vayomer Moshe Kuma Hashem. The second character is Ribono Shel Olam. Ubenucho Yomar Shuva Hashem Rivevot Alfei Yisrael. So the third character is Am Yisrael. So in these psukim, we meet the Torah, Hashem, and Am Yisrael. Another thing in the psukim is that we see that there are 2 movements. Vayihi bin Soa ha'aron. One is outwards, moving, changing, dealing with the Sonim, dealing with the Risha'im, dealing with the difficult world. Ubenucho Yomar, Shuva, return. So we see there are 3 characters. We see there are 2 different movements. One of outwards, of moving, and one of sitting, relaxing, comforting Am Yisrael that they could return. And so the Sefat Emet brings this parasha and the Gemara to a very, very high level. Says the Sefat Emet, Ita bagmara, Vayihi bin Soa, Ubenucho, Hu Sefer bifnei atzmo. The Gemara we just brought, Vehu klal kol haTorah. Sefat Emet says, if Rebbe is saying that these 2 psukim are a Sefer in themselves because they're important, says the Sefat Emet, this means the entire Torah is hidden in these 2 psukim. Could use the Sefat Emet and say, you want to learn the whole Torah on Regel Achad, here 2 psukim. That's it. These 2 psukim are the entire Torah. Why? Kudsha brichu ve'oraita ve'Yisrael satim ve'galia. Says the Sefat Emet, there are 3 characters that we speak about in this parshiah. We speak about Ribono Shel Olam, we speak about the Torah, and we speak about Am Yisrael. So the Sefat Emet says, what connects all 3 of these characters? And he says, all 3 of these characters are Satim v'Galia. All these personalities or different characters are hidden and revealed. Hidden and revealed. Why? The parasha says, Vayihi bin Soa. That's Galia. That's Gilui. That's revealing yourself, going out there, fighting. Ubenucho is Satim. You take a step back. You stop acting. You internalize. You look into what's going on. But says the Sefat Emet that every one of these characters have this characteristic of knowing also how to be hidden. Because when we walk around in the world we live in, what matters is what you see. Time is money. Time, the most miraculous present, is money. What could I see? What's galui? What's 100% something that I could touch? That's tangible. And when someone is a little bit hidden, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't have a meaning. Says the Sefat Emet, Ribono Shel Olam is Satin Vegalia. The whole world is a revelation of Hashem. Every tree, rock, flower, person, everything you see is God. But none of us really see Him. When we walk around, do we see Mamad Har Sinai? Even when you walk through the Kotel, can you hear Hashem saying, Anochi Hashem Elokecha? So it's so galui, but it's so satum. It's so revealed, but it's so distant. Similar is the Torah. We can hold it. It's in our hands. It's galui. It's in the world. I could read you words, but if you walk around in a Beit Midrash and you'll see the thousands of Sefarim that were written on this one little book, that means that as revealed as this book is, at the same time it's so hidden. There's so much that we can't understand. And there's so much more to understand. So Ribono Shel Olam creates the world. We could see it. We could feel it. But at the same time, it's so hidden. The Torah, it's there. But it's so hidden. But the big chiddush of the Parsha is that what makes Am Yisrael unique is that just like Hashem and the Torah have this ability to have a secret world, so too, Am Yisrael, as much as you could see Am Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael, as much as you could walk around and see Kippur and Tzitzit, we're in there, we're in the world, but we're so hidden. And what does it mean that Am Yisrael is so hidden? It means that we are challenged with the world. And day after day, we need to fix, we need to build, we need to create. But at the end, there's always one day of the week that's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're not doing. It's about asking, is your entire life only about showing other people, or do you have a little bit of Kodesh Kodashim in your life? Do you have something inside of you that's so unique, that's so special, that's so deep, that it can't be touched, it can't be revealed? We know we say, Kevod Bat Melech Pnima. Am Yisrael are the Bat Melech. The sentence is so defining what Am Yisrael is truly about. Am Yisrael is not only about showing, talking, proving to other people. It's about realizing that there's so much more in my life than just giving myself to other people. I need to have Kodesh Kodashim in my life. We started the shiur and we said that these two psukim are a Sefer for itself. And I think through the Sefat Emet, why is this really a Sefer to itself? Because it's teaching Am Yisrael the biggest secret. It's saying that Am Yisrael could feel like they're just like all the nations in the world. They're just another person. This shut parasha, this closed parasha, this Sefer in itself calls out to Am Yisrael. And it says, you're like the Torah. You're like Ribono Shel Olam. So start building in your life. Ubinucho. The whole world will understand bin soa, because we're fighting the sunim and the oivim, the outer world. And bin soa is the challenge that every one of us have in our lives. And we cannot leave it. But it doesn't end there. The reason the Torah moves is so that it will return. Vayi bin soa aron, so that it will come back. And the true way you could find who you really are is not by separating from the world. Vayi bin soa aron, if the Ron is out there, if Hashem is out there, you be out there. You go out to the world. You challenge yourself in the world. And then you could really come to Binucho. You could come to the unique Kodesh Kodashim that could live inside of every single person. Bezrat Hashem, we should all be zoche to realize that the whole entire Torah is truly about knowing that we could be people that are so much more than what everyone sees. But we could, in our tefillot, in our Shmoneh Esrei, and on Shabbat, we could build a world that isn't defined by reality, that isn't defined by people, and become, instead of similar to the rest of the world, become similar to the other two characters in this parsha, the Torah and Ribono Shel Olam. We should all be zoche. Shabbat Shalom.